Hello and welcome back to the latest episode of Master of None podcast. 2 in 2 days, Westy. This is, I'm putting out a lot of stuff right now.
You really are. You're really the gift that keeps on giving.
It's so hot right now.
Stephen the Giving Tree Murphy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it. I am, as mentioned, I am your host, Stephen Murphy. Tonight it's just Westy with us, aka Jonathan West, aka Westicles. Any other
Anything else?
nicknames?
JOS.
Jay West is a good one. Bit douchey, but
Yeah.
Sam can't be with us, unfortunately. He's away. So it's just us two tonight. So yeah, Six Nations kind of recap again. We're gonna go through the 3 games, and then obviously we've no games to preview this weekend. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each team and kind of give them a grading system. A, B, C's, and D's. Over the first 2 games. So obviously we'll start off. Ireland played Wales on Saturday. Ireland winning 24-14. Did you watch the game, Westy?
I did, yeah. I watched it live.
Very good. What did you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, you forget. As the game went on, I think Ireland really grew into it. It was very close in the opening minutes. Like Ireland had a couple of. I think we had 2 wide breaks pretty early on. We obviously got the first try, but it's easy to forget that after half an hour we were down 2 points.
Like the first 15 minutes was kind of back and forth. It was shocking to see the score 0-0 after 15 minutes because there was chances for both teams, and then Larmour obviously with that breakthrough try, which was great strength and real desire for the line. He was out 10 meters and I think he bet like 4 defenders.
He did, yeah. I think there's 4 or 5 people on him. The one thing I noticed about the try, and I think I was saying last week I was a big fan of Nick Tompkins. I was really happy to see him start. I think he was kind of maybe slightly out of his depth from the step up from Italy to Ireland. Even it's only his second international game, but he's the first tackler on Larmour, and he actually hits him high around the neck. And I think now only he knows for sure, but I think he seemed to withdraw his arm quite quick after he hit him. And obviously Larmour, amazing strength to get over the line. Really should have been put down, but it's a credit to the man himself for getting
You see,
over.
there's a good footage of Sexton because he's supporting him, and as you said, once he sees the hand go around Larmour's neck, he's immediately shouting at the referee for a high tackle, and then Larmour breaks free and gets over the line. So that was obviously a great start then for Ireland. Sexton misses the conversion, which was. Do you see that kick? It was like a proper shank.
Yeah.
It was.
I thought that was. Do you know what? Part of me went, "Oh God." I thought that was the beginning of the end for us.
I thought you meant the official end of Sexton.
No. I thought it was gonna be a long day now.
Imagine that actually happened out halves. Like just one day they just can't kick.
Yeah.
They can't even hit the sweet spot anymore.
But no, actually, funny you said that. This is Ron O'Gara talk during the week, and he was saying that he had a habit of always missing at one stage in his career, habit of always missing his first kick, but he'd always get the rest after. It almost levels you off as an out half if you've missed your first kick. You're not afraid of missing anymore. Kind of like, I've already missed one.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not.
I mean, it's not 100% true, but it's a
but
way of reacting to it.
Was that the chat with him and he was talking about Paul O'Connell as in leadership? It was on Virgin.
No, I think it was on Off the Ball.
Oh, okay. There was a great chat I tweeted about during the week. He's basically saying, because remember that European Cup final where he missed 5 out of 5 kicks, and because he was saying it's a bit different now because obviously Sexton is the kicker and the captain. So when it comes to deciding where to go for the line out or a scrum or a kick, he used to feel like O'Connell would back him by not even asking him how he felt about the kick, by just saying we're going for the posts. So it was confidence in O'Gara. Because he was saying, like, a lot of times, especially early in his career, he wouldn't want to kick it because he'd be nervous. So he'd be like, please go to the corner. You know what I mean? Scrum's looking well today, lads, sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. As one of the, towards the end of his career, he loved pressure. You know what I mean? He thrived in it for Munster and Ireland, O'Gara.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's amazing the mindset of him when he was younger, that he was actually quite nervous.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
You grow into that. I think most international 10s thrive under pressure. Johnny Sexton seems to thrive under pressure. Owen Farrell definitely, most of the time thrives under pressure. Maybe not so much during Storm Kira in Edinburgh. But yeah, no, definitely. And I think even talking about the pressure from the kicks, you look at Johnny Sexton taking for the penalty. I know I'm skipping forward a bit here, but for Josh Van der Vliet's try, I think we were offered 2 penalties, one kind of closer to the post and one out wide, and he took the out wide and kicked into the corner. And you would think, I think that goes very against type for what you think Johnny Sexton would do as a captain, because you would think Johnny Sexton, okay, a little bit arrogant, will say, I'm kicking this. Like, this is mine. I'm kicking it. But
Yeah,
back to the players to barrel over.
It's kind of the debate. Do you kind of keep the scoreboard taking over, or do you seize the opportunity and back yourself? And I think it's very reassuring watching a game where you see someone kick for the line like that so close, because you obviously puts pressure on you you have to score here. You look like a bit of a dick, but it puts confidence in your pack, especially for Sexton to go like, look, I trust you here.
Yeah, so maybe that's the counter of what Ron O'Gara was saying, where Paulie gives him the ball and says, kick this. And there's no question of can you kick it, it's kick this. In that context, it's Johnny Sexton kicking the ball into touch and being like, go on, lads, it's yours, take it.
Yeah, I want to get onto that Van der Veer try because dodgy. But Wales' opening try, it was great play from Bigger and Alan Wynne-Jones.
Did you see that offload from Wynne-Jones?
Oh my God.
That was magic.
I seen analysis from it, and I can't remember who it was from, so apologies, but he's on that side of the pitch because Wales attacked on the left for a few phases. Yeah. So he's over on the right-hand side of the pitch, and he's there for, probably like the guts of 2 or 3 minutes without no sign of the ball at all. And then just like that, class, gets the ball, takes him to contact. Someone made a good point that Conor Murray, they were giving praise to Bigger because Bigger eyes up the player coming behind Wynne-Jones. I can't remember who it was, as if he was going to pass it to him. So Murray kind of just a slight step to try and cover that, and then he just pops it to Wynne-Jones and he's straight through. And obviously lovely offload, and again another nice offload from Bigger for, was it Williams who finished it off, the scrum half? Yeah. But lovely try. And Wales then, I got nervous then because I'm like, Wales haven't exactly played overly well here, and then just like that, drop of a hat, they've gone through on the post.
Look how quick it can come together, do you know?
Yeah, like, potential is there.
Terrifying. Now, I mean, throughout the game, I think, again, as we go on, like, Wales did play quite a narrow game. Like, as I said, like, I think we attacked in wide channels like twice in the first 5 or 10 minutes. The Stockdale long kick down one of the wings.
Does Stockdale know anything else apart from kicking over the top?
Yeah, I mean, he had the exact same thing in the second half as well.
It worked. It does work occasionally, but they're expecting it now.
But I mean, it's both a pro and a con from a Stockdale perspective. But you see, and it came off, let's say, for the Conway try again in the corner. Like we did identify that they were cramming the middle, and we did often try and run around them. It's just maybe 1 or 2 things missing then when we do get around them.
Yeah.
In terms of the Stockdale.
Yeah, exactly.
Unders, as he said.
Yeah, it's just like every time he's in open space, he kind of just goes, I'm just going to chip it. Ireland then score a second try. Great scrum, leading to a penalty advantage. Then Tyke Furlong powers over, which I loved because Tyke Furlong's in the scrum, and 2 phases later he's barreling over the line, and he's in the front row. It's not the easiest to disperse from the front row, and he's then powers over. Like, he's in great form at the moment.
He is.
Tiggs Furlong, as I christened him.
Tigsy
Furlong.
No, definitely. I think you're 100% right. Like, the work rate to take that impact in the scrum and then get out so quickly. I think you quite often forget that about Tyke Furlong, or you're in danger of forgetting it. He looks like a standard bruising prop, but there's so much more to his game. I think he is consistently very good for Ireland. But then every so often is a game like this, and throughout the game, his passion, his drive, his work rate was just so high throughout the game.
There was a scrum where I think they turned it over with a penalty, and the reaction from the entire pack was amazing. Like, Furlong was buzzing, and it was great to see. I love that, and I love when the backs come in and all slap them on there. I love that stuff because it's just like the backs basically admitting, like, you're doing a lot of hard work here, and we're out here standing. Yeah,
but that's a huge psychological win. When you win a scrum like that, kind of against the head or unexpectedly. I said the same thing before about during the Ireland-Japan game. I think it was the start of the second half. They win one of our scrums, and the look in the front rows, when the front row cheer and our lads' heads are down, you know they're winning. Like, they're coming back now. Like, this is
massive momentum swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Then big maul for the Van der Veer try, but I don't know. He lands like 2 or 3 yards short of that line.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it goes to the TMO obviously, and the question from is it Romain Poix? Is nonsensical. Like,
on field decision to try, is there any reason I can't, basically? But there probably wasn't, because you can't see the ball.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
no, but if he grants the try, you have to see a reason that he can't.
Yeah.
So the question really should have been try yes no, because I don't think he saw that ball being grounded.
No, I can't imagine how he could have.
So the question should have been try yes or no, and we were lucky there. The decision went our way in that.
Yeah, he was.
Now look, it's great work from the Irish pack. Like, it is. We just probably start shouting for the try a bit too early.
But look at it, worked.
Yeah.
It obviously did something. Wales then nearly have a try. I have to mention this. Hadley Park's line for this.
Oh, it's so good.
He comes from 20 yards back nearly and times it perfectly. And it's just, O'Mahony makes a tackle, but just pure momentum of Hadley Park's. He just can't stop him. And, unlucky. He didn't ground it. It was slipping out of his hands.
I don't think it was grounded. I think it went out of his hands. There have been games where that try's been given.
Yeah, if that game's in Cardiff, who knows?
If that try had been given, or if he had got the grounding, John, we're in a very different situation then. What are we?
That would be, so we were 12-7 at half time. We scored the Van der Veer try, so we were 19-7 up.
19-7, so that goes 19-14 then. So that becomes a very different
totally
game.
Yeah. We tighten up then probably, and
And there's plenty of time there at that point still for Wales.
I think that was around 60 minutes. Was it 65 minutes maybe? I wanted also to mention this game. Keith Earls, my boy Keith Earls was back.
Keith Earls played great when he came on.
Of course he did. You disrespectful piece of shit.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he looks great on that bench.
Hey, come on! He's only coming back.
I'll
from
hold
injury.
the seat for him for as long as he wants.
Did you see his amazing pass though?
I did, and from both sides as well.
Like, it was beautiful.
He was a very good distributor at 13 when he came
you see it, our lads, and they flick it out, and then the ball. He even got like a spiral on it nearly. It was very impressive, quick hands. But finally, then Conway scores at the end in around the 74th, 5th minute, I think it was. But that copped off a great performance from him. He's really has been amazing since he's secured that green jersey for himself.
And what I love about that try is that it actually it involves like the kind of, they're not all young, but like the young squad players that comes from Cooney. I think somebody in between them goes to Byrne, to Larimer, to Conway. It's a very much a kind of, let's say, new generation Ireland try.
As quick ball, Cooney has that ball. And look, we'll get into maybe a bit of the Ireland team at the moment. Murray played very well at the weekend.
Did play well, yeah.
That could be coming from the Cooney pressure. I'm sure during trainings as well. It's definitely spurring him on. I still think maybe if he started against Scotland, we could have an even better Conor Murray at the moment. But we don't know. But that's all hearsay. But
you look at and again, not saying it'd be the same for Murray, but you look at how, let's say, how starting from the bench has influenced Peter O'Mahony. Peter O'Mahony came on in the Scotland game and had a fantastic game, and then started in this Wales game. I think he played brilliant again, even for that Tadhg Furlong try. I'm pretty sure he actually blocks a defender.
Oh, probably
trying to drive Tadhg Furlong over the line.
He is. I just love him so much. He just gives you everything, and I can see points of why people would start. I know one of the lads I work was saying today that against England he would start maybe Deegan or Doris over him just because they're more powerful runners, and I get that if you're going up against England you need probably a bit more power, but I just always want him on my team, and I think until he stops playing I will always want him on my team. He just gives you everything and he just lives for it.
Yeah, and I think even from a game plan perspective, it wasn't planned that him and CJ Stander and even Van der Veer would have such good games, because Deegan came on quite late, especially relative to, I definitely don't think the plan was for him to come on.
They all kind of came on late just because it was tight.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But you would think, I think if Peter O'Mahony hadn't played as well, I think Deegan would have come on 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
I think, as you say, it was a tight game. We were dominant. We were pushing forward. We never really looked like we were going to lose once we got a lead in. But yeah, I think that the guys on the pitch, the momentum, it was going so well. It was such a beautiful kind of flowing attack that we had.
Yeah.
That anybody would be nervous to disrupt it.
It was, and it was good. And just to finish the game off, Wales score when the clock was in the red to bring it up to 24-14. Going forward, we're going to do probably a preview one next week, a full one. But England and Twickenham, I'm not fully buying into the Ireland team just yet. We bet a Scotland team that are looking quite poor, and they played well that day, but they're definitely lacking some conviction. And we still don't really know how good this Wales team is. They bet Italy, but they didn't look amazing this weekend. They definitely have some flaws. They're in a very similar situation to us with new coach and whatnot. So I'm not. If we go and beat England and Twickenham, then you know what? Then I'm in. But I'm still trying to be realistic about this. We've been here before.
Yeah.
And we then go and get beaten at Twickenham. So we're definitely there's definitely a lot of pros there, but I still think also there is some flaws. So look, we'll go into that game hopefully beating England. But would you be hopeful for that, or would you be optimistic?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to predict it now, I'd probably back Ireland.
Ooh.
No, I think I'm at the bottom of our prediction league, so maybe that's not the.
It's currently five each to me and Sam. We both backed Wales to beat Ireland, so we probably deserve that. And then you're on 4.
Yeah,
you suck.
Oh no! Hold on. If you go back and listen,
feeder, absolute bottom feeder is what you are.
The other 2 games, I said England by a score, and I said France by 2 scores. So
still only get you 1 point. There's no extra points for correct scores.
Whatever. I disagree.
Oh, by the way, did we not mention the loser has to fight a live bear?
Live in the studio.
In my bedroom. Yes.
That bedroom is in a lot of strange action lately.
It has, yeah.
Based on the podcast you released yesterday.
Listen to the Squid Rugby podcast for more information on that.
No, but I think
what a drop.
I think first off, you can't go to Twickenham and underestimate England. Like that's
absolutely not. England are in a weird situation because you can't really read. Well, we'll actually move on now. So Scotland, England in Murrayfield. England coming out 13 points to 3 winners here. An absolutely scintillating flower of Scotland to kick us off.
Oh yeah, in the rain.
Oh, it just touches me in places that I can't. I'd have to tell a therapist. Really, it's just so good when they cut the music and the whole crowd gets into it. It is. I think it's untouchable.
I was singing along
all the time.
I went and put my Scotland jersey on from years ago.
I seen you snapped me. Yeah. But yeah, the weather dictated this game, and that's why I'm saying you can't really. It's still tough to tell a lot about England because the first game against France definitely stuttered, but they come up against a very good French team, and then yesterday the wind and the rain, it was impossible to tell really. Game plans kind of went out the window of actual expansive rugby.
Yeah.
This was just let's get the win and they did. They played well.
Do you have to remember, like England? So England, I mean, I might be wrong, but they had a very low number of visits to inside the 22.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe even only the one that they scored off. So, I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do and nothing else. Okay, look, Farrell didn't have a great game at the boot. I think he was 50-50 maybe for his success rate.
Yeah.
It did devolve into kick tennis at times. Teams trying to force your team to knock on, which worked. Hogg caught a high ball and knocked it on. George Ford caught one and knocked on. Like that was clearly people were pushing once the weather devolved.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing about England is still is the strength of their players, like especially their back row, like Underhill and Curry were everywhere.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Scotland had a rolling maul going forward, and Curry and Underhill are right round there on the ball.
That looked illegal to me. I'm thinking, and he said he come through the middle, but he clearly didn't. But I just might not know the rules, which is very possible. But it looked like he just came around the side. But look, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, the Curry at 8. Are we still? How are we feeling about that still?
I don't know. I don't think they should keep playing Curry at 8. I think if you have Underhill and Curry as your 6 and 7, and you have I know Alex Dunbrath, or they have, is it Earl from Saracens?
Yeah, I think
squad.
so.
We haven't really seen him play much for them. He is an 8, so start him at 8.
Seems a waste not a waste. He's obviously still very good at 8, but he could be just better at 6 or 7. I just don't. I think he's trying to go for like a hybrid back row, as in you can kind of plug and play them.
Yeah, but if you look at even look at the France game, I think Eddie Jones. I don't know how he thinks, but it looks like he kind of highly underestimated.
That is a great question.
He underestimated France because he went with a back row of Laws at 6, Underhill at 7, and Curry at 8. You've got 2 players in your back row playing out of position. Do you know, like that? I think it was a bit of hubris. I think they kind of thought France won't turn up. We have a bit of a point to prove after the World Cup. We're going to go out and, as he said, like brutality, yeah.
And they got smashed.
So I think you can chalk some of that down to the shock and awe of France. France were brilliant. I'm not taking anything away from them, but England were not ready for that. France. And England boxed much cleverer against Scotland. It was a bad day. It wasn't a game for the casual fan.
No, absolutely not. But sometimes it's weird. Sometimes a game like that, it becomes enthralling because it's just so weird, and you know what I mean. You don't know what's like. It's very unpredictable, that game.
Yeah,
because anything can happen, and like even I wanted to draw attention to this. So Scottish prop Sutherland.
Yeah, the break.
Oh my God!
Did he step Farrell?
He dummied Farrell, and he then exploded into the open field. Then he kind of looks frightened and scared because he doesn't know what he's doing. But he turn of pace was amazing, and so Farrell's still looking for that dummy that he was sold.
Yeah,
it was incredible. I wanted to highlight that because, well, there wasn't a whole pile to highlight in this game, but that was amazing. But Scotland, they do well in a lot of passages, and then when it comes to the scoring zone, like 22 and in, they just kind of, I don't know if they freeze up. I don't know if they don't have many ideas. They're just lacking a bit of conviction to get over the line.
Yeah, I think it's, and it pains me to say this, but I think it's kind of a similar thing that we sometimes see at Connacht, in that there's beautiful, intelligent, expansive rugby up until we get inside the 22, and then for some reason they don't back themselves to play that anymore. And I think with a team like Scotland, who don't really have the same quality of pack that England have, especially when I say like the back rows, now Scottish back rows are good, like they're not bad in any sense, but against an English back row, I just don't think they have that. It may even come down to a game plan thing, but they don't have that confidence in their own abilities to. It's extending happening against us right now. Our goal line defense was very good, but Scotland weren't creative inside the line. No. It was smash up, one up runners.
There was even when they had an advantage and they're about 7 or 8 meters out, and they just sometimes teams when they get advantage they'll try something, they'll do a set play, they'll kick over the top. Just was the same of this same stuff that they were doing beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't know if that comes down to coaching. I don't know if that comes down to. I think a lot of it's probably just confidence. They haven't scored a try yet, and I'm sure that's very that's notable to them.
They haven't scored a try yet, but they also have conceded the least.
Joint least with us. Yeah, but I think that was more. Well, the weather yesterday didn't really, or the other day didn't really help with tries. But
I mean, their scrum has been very good. I mean, that's the thing that I think was highlighted during the week when they played us. They had when Hogg dropped the ball going over for the penalty. They had a penalty advantage. So not going over when Hogg dropped the ball going over for the try. They had a penalty advantage.
Yeah.
And the questions asked during the week, like, I mean, their scrum had literally just annihilated us. Why didn't they take the scrum inside our 5-meter line and attack from there? But Hogg takes the 3 points.
I seen something about that. I think they were saying basically that he was so mentally frazzled from knocking it on that he wasn't thinking clearly, which is possible.
Speaking of Hogg mistakes,
he's not playing very. He's panicking a bit, isn't he? I don't know if it's the captaincy. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it is. I mean, from what I read, he told Gregor Townsend, "I want the captaincy. Give it to me. I'll lead this team." But yeah, look, this one is nowhere. If this, so what happened is the ball was kicked deep. He kind of crouches over to pick it up. It has a weird bounce. He ends up semi carrying it over the line. Kind of slips through his fingers and his body grounds the ball.
It's like a bar of soap basically just pops out from underneath.
So the weather doesn't help. I think had he not knocked the ball on last week, this wouldn't really be as much of an issue.
Yeah. He's definitely, I think, a confidence
thing. Isn't it? That's where they got the.
They then because they had a 5-meter scrum for that, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah, because he carried it over the line and touched it down. So
and then Genge scores the winning try. Then they kind of just. Whereas Scotland have no conviction, England are very clear in what they want to do when they're that close. They're picking and going, but it's a game plan. We know what we're doing here. We're going to keep doing it, sort of thing. So they then power over with Genge. He looks like a real talent.
Yeah, they call him the baby rhino or something.
Baby rhino, yeah, that's true.
You see the post-match interview?
Yeah, why are people getting upset about this?
Because he didn't have a wrote-off answer and he drank a beer during the interview.
People are so stupid.
Like,
we want athletes to be more, open and more actually who they are. We give out them when people are too media trained.
Yeah.
Like, we give out that they're like robots, and then this guy is the opposite of that, and we're also not happy.
Yeah. He's only young as well. Like, he's asked to do a post-match.
What age is he?
I don't know, to be honest.
He's young. He's young. I'm just wondering how young.
I don't know. Is he that old?
We'll do some research and then
find out.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Scotland.
And drinking a beer after a game, like that is a part of rugby.
They do it in the dressing room
after a game. He's not like he was plugging the particular beer or anything.
Yeah, it's not as if he goes, when I drink, I like to drink a Heineken. He didn't do that. But like all the players put up their social media, their Instagrams afterwards. They're all drinking, like they'll have a beer in their hand.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But I don't know. I don't.
It's the Guinness Six Nations.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't give out about drink. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, amazing. But Scotland aren't a bad team. They're just, I think they're lacking confidence, and I think they're lacking maybe a bit of conviction. But they're not a terrible team.
Like I think Adam Hastings has been playing quite well. I don't know if Finn Russell would have made much difference in that weather.
Oh yeah, bad day for the Finn Russell made Scotland worst crew.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's just me. It wasn't a big crew, but yeah, that. But then again, yeah, what impact would he have had an impact that day?
I mean, I think he would have. I think, especially when it devolved into kind of kicking for territory and kicking for errors, that he maybe would have been. But he might have been able to actually. He might have been confident enough to inject some actual creativity into the play.
True,
we're saying that's their problem when they get inside 22. There's no creativity. Maybe that is, in essence, what like look at Finn Russell. For Racing against Munster, dinks it on through, runs in, gets the try.
Yeah, if Scotland have a penalty advantage 5 minutes out and the ball goes to Russell, he's trying something.
Yeah,
so that's fair enough. But Scotland again, and I want to highlight this. They were down 7 points. We discussed this on Twitter, and you made a good point. But also, it's basically they're down 7 points with 40 seconds to go, and they box kick.
Yeah,
I don't like that decision.
No,
I feel like I get it. They're trying to force a knock on, they're force a handling error because of the weather, but I just don't like putting the fate of the game in someone else's hand.
Yeah,
I know again it probably comes down to a confidence thing, but I just don't like that decision. I don't think that should have been called. I don't know who called it. I don't know whose decision it was, but it didn't work out. England regained possession and then just kind of let the clock tick down. But what did you think of that?
No, yeah, as I said to you, I mean, I think that's what I mean when I say like they're kicking to force a knock on, and I think that's partly Scotland not backing their own attack. Now, like Ireland did a similar thing against the All Blacks a few years ago when we beat them. For the last 5 minutes we actually kicked them and gave them possession, and the team staff was we backed our defence. We knew our defence would hold them out. I think it might have been Ringrose kicked it away, and I was screaming at the TV.
But was that with 40 seconds ago, or was that with like 10 minutes ago?
It was like 2 minutes to go, I think.
2 minutes ago.
So in this case, I think it's maybe the opposite of that. I don't think it's like obviously Scotland are chasing the game, so it's them not backing their attack. They think that probably based on the game they played, they don't think the only way they're going to get territory here is forcing a knock on, getting a scrum inside the English 22.
Yeah. I just think it's a defeatist attitude, you know.
I think maybe as well. So they had is it Furbank? Is that the fullback?
Yeah.
He obviously had a tough first game against Scotland. They hadn't really tried to exploit him throughout the game. Maybe that's what they were going for now.
That's a good point, actually. But yeah, you're going to leave that till the last 40 seconds.
It's not a game plan if you do it for the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, for someone like that was definitely should have been a tactic to try and put him under pressure because again, it's only a second start. And yeah, didn't have a great first game. So yeah, that's a good point actually, Westy. Look at you making. Hey, good job.
Yeah, thanks. I know stuff.
I
watch Squidgy Rugby.
Yeah. Mate of mine. Jokes. Last game then on Sunday, France versus Italy. I did see this game. France again looking pretty strong. Did you watch this game?
I did. So I was on a bus at the time, so I had it on Virgin Media Player on my phone, and I actually got
credit to Virgin Media Player, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
RTE Player take some fucking notes. It actually works.
The one thing I did I got really excited towards the end, so I actually turned it off for the last 20 minutes because I was recording it at home. Okay. I hadn't planned on watching it while I was traveling. But yeah, I actually stopped it and waited because I wanted to see the last 20 minutes at home because I genuinely thought Italy were going to really make a run of it.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they grew into the game.
Italy
just like Andrew Conway, they grew into that game.
Yeah. Italy were very good in passages. I have to say they were fantastic to watch.
Yeah,
they're very like Scotland. They're not a bad team. Italy. I watched the extended highlights again today just to kind of refresh my memory. But all the comments were saying like, "Oh, Italy terrible. It should be relegated immediately." And we'll talk about relegation on another podcast. But that performance against France, like they scored 2 tries.
3 tries. Yeah.
3 tries against a France defense that has been brilliant. It was brilliant against England. Like this is not a bad team. Again, I think like Scotland lacking maybe some conviction, just making bad decisions in important moments. But I think that's a team that's lacking confidence. Definitely potential there. Some great players.
Yeah, it's like I said it last week that they were trying to play an expansive brand of rugby against Wales, and I think Sam was saying that they just don't have faith in the system. I think especially towards the end of the game, maybe when the game is a little bit out of reach, Italy got even more expansive because I think at that point when they know it's over, they're kind of like they're not afraid to back the system anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they're kind of like, oh well, we might as well try it now.
Although having said that, like they kicked it out of play to finish the game. It was 35-22, and Italy scored, received the kickoff, and then booted it out of play.
Well, I actually, because once they scored the last try, I turned it off.
It was ridiculous, like because it was 35-22. So
losing bonus points.
They need a converted try, but no, if they got another try, it's 2 losing bonus points. If you get the try, 4 tries scored,
4 tries. Yeah.
Bonus points probably won't come into it for Italy, but
still again, it's a defeatist attitude.
Yeah, but like I mean, that try, like I think it was Bellini got the.
It was amazing.
Beautiful try. Like again, I kind of when I got that try and France kicked off again. Me half an hour behind now. I was like, I am so glad I didn't watch this on the bus. Italy are about to bring it, and then he boots it out of play.
Yeah, France. We'll go through just kind of some highlights. France. This is how powerful France are. Their first try, it was like a broken play.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was going to be anything, and then Ntamack, a little grubber through, and Thomas finishes, and it's just like that, like a 1-2 punch. You think, oh, it's broken play, let's push up, and then a little kick over the back, and you're in trouble.
I have 2 notes on this game written down here in front of me. One of them is kicking out of play to finish the game. Yeah. The other one is Ntamack with about 20 exclamation points.
He was amazing.
I mean, he's brilliant.
He is amazing.
Like, he grubbed it through for the first try. He got an amazing break on his own.
Yeah, it's pure amazing burst of speed.
Yeah, he was brilliant last week against England as well. I'm really regretting not putting him on my fantasy team.
Well, speaking of my fantasy team,
Farrell got me nothing.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of my fantasy team, Olivon with another try.
Olivon in, yeah.
He's on my fantasy team.
He was on mine as well.
Copycat.
Copycat. Because he got in again and got man of the match.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. But France, But France, should we be concerned that they conceded 3 tries? Like for the defense that was so good last week.
I mean, the question is like, did Italy kind of open fire, or did France
stop playing
France for the last half an hour? I think fitness not fitness, but fitness from a consistency point of view will be a struggle for France.
Yes.
Sean Edwards is obviously pushing them hard, and people are saying as the tournament goes on, they might not be able to keep that defensive shape quite so well. They did concede late against England. They conceded late here again against Italy. I certainly wouldn't take it for granted, but I mean, it probably is niggles of old France still there.
Yeah.
It's a new system. It's a new coaching panel. It's a fairly new team. I don't think anybody expected them to be this good this early.
No, I thought it would be next year where we would really see it.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be I thought like mostly what happens this time is they show real promise, but then they get beaten by the likes of England and maybe Ireland, like the more seasoned teams. I didn't think they would be this good this early.
But so they play Wales next.
In Cardiff, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's their first. England was a real test, but that's their next big test.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sean Edwards coming from Wales will have certain insights to give. France, after a 2-week break, can they come back? Can they keep that structure, that defensive momentum going? But I don't see any reason why they can't. Now, I think Wales will be hurting. I think there'll be a backlash there. It's probably going to be one of the better matches of the Six Nations.
Yeah, that should be a cracker, actually. Is that Saturday or Sunday? Or do you know?
I can find out.
Yeah, you maybe have a look. But, France, I wanted to highlight a play here because it was quite like the Ireland try against Scotland, but before half-time, Saturday. Okay. They get, I think it's advantage again, but they pop the ball to Prop, and he draws in 2 defenders, and as he's being tackled, he offloads back to Dupont, and then he pings out wide, and it's straight through, and it's really good forward play because obviously the Prop is just going to draw on 2 defenders because they just think he's going to barrel over from that close. And it was really, I just wanted to highlight that play because it was very like the Keane Healy back to Conor Murray for Scotland.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a lot more teams are using that kind of decoy now for the props, especially that close to the line. So that was good. I have it here as well. Ntamack just incredible form at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's only young too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite young. And even my favourite thing about Ntamack for the game, I think it was for the 3rd try. Well, actually, throughout this game, he hit all posts.
I seen the one where he hit 2 posts.
First one, one of them he hit the crossbar. Second one, he hit both uprights.
He didn't.
And it went over.
He didn't kick well. For I think he scored, he converted probably 3 of the whatever tries, but he did not kick well.
Well, he didn't place kick well.
No, he didn't place kick well. Sorry, yeah. we have to then mention the replacement scrum half, Sarah.
Oh yeah,
who then scores a worldly of a try.
Runs the pitch, completely individual try.
The replacement scrum half, who of which the starting scrum half is world class.
Yeah.
Wow, that is depth at its finest. Italy finished out with obviously a fantastic try of their own. Bellini, some great offloading. And actually, as you say, I think they actually started just be like, you know what, fuck it, we'll try stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
let's try offloading.
There was great offloads throughout the game. I think for one of the tries, I can't remember which one was the offload come from Hayward. Jaden Hayward offloaded. The fullback came on, burst through and offloaded. Like, I don't think skill is really the problem. As an overarching problem for Italy, I think maybe they don't have enough in enough places. Like I said last week, like their back row is brilliant.
Yeah.
Nigiri, Paladri, like those guys are phenomenal players. And I do think that the success now from Treviso is feeding through. They definitely have a deeper skill set. It's just not all there. I mean, even for one of the tries, I think it was again for the try where Entomac hit the posts. It was Albert scored.
Yeah.
It was a very much a basic. Like it was very much. There was a couple of forward picks. The entire Italy team gets sucked in, and there's miles of space that way.
Yeah, it's small. It's like bad decisions again.
Yeah. So it's just not. It's not all there. I mean, look, they have. I think it's promising. It's a good response from Italy from last week.
Definitely,
they went 100 minutes without scoring a point in the Six Nations this year.
Wow,
that's 80 minutes against Wales and 20 minutes of this game.
That's disheartening.
Yeah,
but no, they responded and then scored 3 tries in 60.
Yeah, I just don't know why.
I see your 100 minutes without scoring, and I raise you 60 minutes with 3 scores.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't understand why they kicked it out. Like,
yeah, I know, especially when they're in. Yeah, exactly, right.
Even let's say you could say, okay, well they might not have gotten the bonus point because if they got the try, they would have been an 8 points point, but they would have got 4 tries.
Yeah.
So,
and for Italy, you take every point you can try and get.
Yeah.
But I do believe the next game is at home.
At home to Scotland.
You know what that means?
We're going to Italy.
Parise. He's back.
Ridiculous system.
I know. You're like, what other players do you think of the teams could have that? Alan Wynne-Jones, maybe?
Alan Wynne-Jones could do it. I think
Sexton probably could.
I think Paul O'Connell could say it now. And probably something like that.
It's O'Driscoll, definitely.
I think Paul O'Connell, yeah.
Give him 5 minutes at the end. It's all right. Definitely. Yeah. Crowd will love it. But he's back. Does he start immediately? I don't like... if he starts, it's a bit of a mockery, isn't it?
Again, like their back row isn't
the problem.
A problem area.
Maybe he'd be starting out in the wing.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'd definitely pay to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Remember that time he drop kicked at the end of was it the France game?
Yeah, was that last year?
It was in a year before, but and it was nowhere near the post.
Why? Like that is Sergio Parise been high in his own supply. Like even more than saying I'm only going to play the home games. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, we thought he couldn't get worse after he tried the drop goal, and now he's only playing home games. Does he travel even to the away games? I'm assuming he doesn't.
I don't know. That's interesting.
That'd be worse if he travels and then just doesn't bother playing.
No, it's a good one for them, right? Because if they continue their current trajectory, they could hit form against Scotland at home in Italy.
I think I'd be backing them at the moment to beat Scotland, unless Finn's back, but. He's released a statement and Gregor Townsend released a statement, but they both kind of didn't acknowledge each other in a weird way. Like Finn Russell made some comments, Townsend didn't address them at all. I can see both points. I think just because you're Finn Russell doesn't really mean you can break the rules, but then also, can you have the same rules for every player?
I think you can have squad rules. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have squad rules. I think if it's pretty disheartening if Finn Russell's allowed to have 5 pints, but Johnny Gray can only have 2.
When you boil it down, though, it's so childish, isn't it?
Oh, it is childish, and people are saying
a couple extra pints, and now we can't play for Scotland.
The player group agreed on 2 pints each, but sure, like if it's the player group deciding and not the management, then that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Well, Finn Russell says that he's a part of that leadership group, and he wasn't there when that decision was made. Which is still childish, as in like, I wasn't there. It doesn't apply to me. I wasn't there. And does he really need the extra couple of pints? Probably not. But look they're definitely. No, I'm going to stick with it. They're better off without him. Feck it. I'm out here. I'm on this.
Big Adam Hastings fan.
I'm on this island alone. Why not?
Have Adam Hastings in your
Who's the replacement
replacement fly half.
Yeah, but he was like, there was a lot of, because he's a bit like chubby and stuff. Remember him?
I can't think off the top of my head.
See if he's on there. Yeah, they were saying like he was.
Rory Hutchinson, George Horn, Roy Hutchinson?
No, maybe I'm thinking of something different. But unless it's Adam Hastings and he just got way better looking and leaner. But I don't think it is.
He's pretty lean.
He looks a bit like Sean Maitland, right?
Maybe.
There's yeah. I may or may not have thought that Sean Maitland was kicking at one
I
stage.
tend not to assess my rugby players under visual aesthetics, do you know?
That's where you're going wrong.
That's why I never made it as a pundit.
That's why I'm 5 correct answers and you're only 4.
Oh.
Because I'm like,
shots fired. Who's winning the fantasy league?
oh, you, isn't it?
Well, I'm not winning. I'm beating you and Sam. That's about it.
I'm 7th or something like that. But you know what? It's the taking part that counts. That's what losers say. We're going to move on now. So we're going to do some grades.
Okay, I didn't prepare grades.
Of course you didn't, because you're an amateur. No, I'm just joking.
Man,
I didn't put a whole pile of thought into it either. We'll go with Scotland first. I went with a D because I feel like an F would be too harsh, because I think they've played better than an F. Is E in a grade?
E is a grade,
Yeah, I don't acknowledge it as a grade.
Sorry, no, it's a grade.
D. I'm going to give them a D.
I would say I'd give them a C minus. Because I would say that you're showing potential, but you're not applying yourself, which is what 100 teachers told me growing up. Because they've taken, they've lost by less than 7 twice, conceded the fewest tries, showing potential, not yet.
The irony is, like, they could have easily beaten Ireland. Do you know
They
what I
could
mean?
have, yeah.
This is a whole different
That
conversation.
try changes the game.
Fair enough. So I went
As does any try, really.
with yeah. Do you know what's important? Tries.
Let me break it down to you. I think this game is about scoring tries.
We can score more than the opposition.
That'd be my half-time team talk if I was Wales in Geneva. Just score more tries than them.
We're 7 points down, guys. So let's score 8 and not let them score again. Sometimes you can overcomplicate these things.
Yeah.
Italy, I have written down here D, but I'm actually going to change it to a C minus, because I think they've showed better than Scotland in a lot of ways. They're better to watch for me. So I'm going with C minus. Westy, Mr. Westy, teacher, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up again. I'm gonna give you, because I think they've been slightly better than Scotland. I've backed myself into a corner.
You're playing like good cop, bad cop here. Bad cop.
No, it's just like,
I'm the asshole giving the low grades, and you're going one higher.
I'm gonna give them a C.
Oh, you make
because
me
they scored
sick.
some beautiful tries, but they were poor against it. Didn't really show up against Wales, and they made some very poor decisions against France.
Just like to say that if I ever got a C minus in any of my exams, I was over the moon.
You never got a C minus, because in Ireland we have C3s.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
It's all H's now, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally different.
H's and
We're
L's.
way too old for that, Westy. Next in Wales, I've gone with a B minus.
Ooh.
How do we feel about that?
I think that's good. I think you're pretty on the money there.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Struggling to find their flow, I think.
Yes, definitely. Work in progress. How about that? We should come up with like little slogans for them each as well. Damn, we can do that again. If we did, Wales would be work in progress.
Work in progress.
You going with B minus 2? Get off the fence, Westy. Go with B. Go on. I fucking dare you.
Okay, I'll go to B then.
You make me sick. England. I'm going with C plus here. And watch this backfire as they beat Ireland in Twickenham.
No, I'd go with C at the minute. I think.
Stop going one ahead
I'm
of
going
me.
below you. You said C plus. I'm going with.
Oh, you
Do I have
did.
to- Does it go C minus C plus?
Sorry, I was just stupid there. Yeah, C plus is higher.
I think that obviously I had England to win the Six Nations.
I think a lot of people did.
I think they failed to find their form again since the World Cup, for whatever reason that is. Whether it's a World Cup hangover, if you want to use that phrase, or if they were just found out by France, or the weather went against them in Scotland. I think we haven't seen anywhere near what we should be seeing from England.
Yeah, I agree.
By their standards. Not by everyone else's standards. By their standards, they're bang average.
I've gone with C plus just because I feel that it was too hard to kind of judge them off the Scotland game just because of the weather. You know what I mean? We don't really know how good or bad they are yet, which is the problem with only grading them after 2 games.
Yeah.
But look that's a flaw that Will has overcome. Next, France. I've gone with A.
Oh, A plus.
I don't think you can go A+ yet. You conceded 3 tries to Italy.
I don't know, man. I think again, if you take them in and of themselves, from where they
a Russian
were,
doll syndrome.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
They're just more French people.
Yeah. If you open up Dupont, there's a smaller Dupont. And he's already pretty small.
Inside Oliphant, there's a tiny Dupont working the controls.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think if you take them from last year to now, I think they're by far by so much they're probably the most improved team in the top competition.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think I can't mark them down a little bit because they did definitely a mini collapse against England, and then obviously conceding late again to Italy, and that could be just pure French attitude, not even tiredness. That could just be like, we're winning.
It's not like they stopped and the floodgates opened and Italy scored like 3 or 4 tries. I mean, they were still swapping tries there as the game went on. Like France very much stayed involved. Okay, their probably defensive shape took a bit of a hit as the game went on. Italy kind of took advantage, but I think based on the improvement, I'll give them an A+.
Okay, fair enough. And then finish up with Ireland. I've gone A-.
Oh, I go A- as well.
Okay.
I go A- because it's so good, but I know there's more in it.
Is it so good?
Well, it's again so good compared to losing to Japan and our last nations.
That is
by England.
That is true. I'm defend. It's pure defense mechanism that I'm not going all in on yet because
they've hurt you before.
They have. This is an abusive relationship that I have been abused in a lot. So that's the only reason. But definitely A-. They've look at when it's worked. It's worked well.
Yeah, they've done everything they needed to do. Bonus point against Wales, World Cup semi-finalists. We tend everybody in Ireland. We kind of hate people once they succeed. We love.
100%.
We love misery.
Don't get me started on that.
The last couple of days, I've been loving it. Rain, snow, sleet. Miserable.
Couldn't be happier.
I'm joking. No, I think we tend to be really hard on them. I'd love to give them an A. I'd love to give them an A+. I go A- because I'm just not convinced what I've seen will beat England in Twickenham. I hope it does. I think it will, but I'm not.
I agree. Yeah, I think we definitely we bet Scotland, which was great. We have beaten Wales again. Bonus point win against Wales is never nothing to be sniffed at. But again, we just don't know enough yet about Wales. Yeah. And Wales' record in Dublin was never good, even under Gatland.
Yeah.
They won 7, lost 7. You know what I mean? Under Gatland again, because people were giving out that PVAC lost in Dublin against Wales, and then people were like, well, Gatland was never that successful here either. So, I think if they go and beat England, then look, we're on. We have a really good team here, but I'm not going to get into World Cup stuff. Sorry,
I would say as well,
but I'm not.
With Ireland, we gave away 10 penalties against Wales.
Yeah,
discipline is still a problem for that team.
Yeah, true. And can CJ Stander continue turning ball over like a machine for 5 games?
Well, look at CJ Stander is a perfect example. Has 4 turnovers in total?
I think he has.
Card for the last in the way.
Yeah, someone said it was the first time someone's got a standing ovation for a yellow card because it was 5 minutes left to go, and he got a standing ovation going off. So, at the moment we're dominating breakdowns, which is obviously a massive part of the game now.
Yeah.
Someone said every man in the match so far has been breakdown or has been back row. So every game so far.
France, it was Aldred twice.
Aldred twice. You have
twice.
Stander twice.
Tipperick.
I can't remember who it was.
Match in the Wales-Italy game.
And then yesterday, I think. Oh, yesterday Sam Underhill got it.
Jesus.
So, or I keep saying yesterday. Sorry, Sunday, and so that's. I don't know if that reflects just how important that area it is. So my good point that I think some of the pundits that decide it are all retired back rowers, which is also a possibility. But
I think it was Alan Quinlan on RG.
It's probably So, but that's so that's our kind of our grade. So let us know if you agree or disagree. Westy kind of just sat in the fence.
What?
Yeah, come on, throw like an F in there or something. England F. Fuck them. They'll beat us now.
If we put 4 tries at England in Twickenham, I'll give them an F in the next grading.
Yes, no, I would agree, and I'll bump Ireland up to an A+. Okay, that's great. We'll end it there. Westy, you know what? plug your Twitter. And if anyone loves Tier 2 rugby, follow Westy on Twitter.
I didn't watch any Tier 2 rugby this week.
No, it's okay, but you still tweet about it.
The problem is it's scheduled this week. Like last week was perfect because it was like the Spain-Russia game was on before Wales-Italy, and I was sitting around the house excited for Sixmas, as I always am.
Sixmas.
And I didn't want to make any plans. I didn't want to miss a rugby, so I got to watch that. But this week, apart now, the Spain-Georgia game on the Sunday was well timed, but I wasn't able to watch it. But yeah, the 2 games on Saturday were on during the...
Yeah, that's whoever made that decision is
stupid.
stupid.
At a different time. How are you going to get any viewership?
How are you going to grow the viewership if it's on against the better games?
Before we go, is there any changes you'd make to the Ireland team going into... Now, obviously, it's 2 weeks away. There's a lot of training to be done before then. Even some most lads have gone back to their provinces. 23 are kept in. Is there anybody you would drop or start based on the England team? Sorry, the team that played against Wales.
Well, see, everyone played so well against Wales. It's tough. I see. I don't know. The front row I wouldn't change. I like Herring. I think he plays well. The line-out was solid against Wales. I think we need to see more from James Ryan and Ian Henderson, especially if we're going up against Atoja. But I wouldn't replace them with anyone. I still think they're our best, 4 and 5. The back row again. I wouldn't drop O'Mahony. You can't drop Stander. Van der Fleer, again, he's played well. He's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm a Cooney fan, but I wouldn't like his first game the first start or whatever against England and Twickenham. I don't want another Henshaw situation at fullback. Sexton is a man, and you're going to need experience going over there. I'm torn on Stockdale.
Yeah.
I feel like, I know I'm an Earls fan, but again, going into England and Twickenham, would it hurt to have Keith Earls' experience and going into that?
Yeah.
But I think that's the only really one I would consider. I think Bundy and I thought Henshaw was brilliant the weekend. We never even mentioned that. Henshaw was brilliant. It was great to see him back to what he can be.
Yeah, so this again I think this is something that Sam said before, and something me and Sam have said about Henshaw ever since he left Connacht, was that he really bulked up at Leinster, and he became this battering ram of a carrier at 12. It's so great to see him utilising his skill set again. Like, Henshaw played football growing up as well, and he definitely shows his athleticism in the last couple of games.
He still uses a battering ram though.
He is, but he's given more freedom with it, because Bundy is kind of taking the ball up as the 12 and taking the hit, and Henshaw's getting that little bit more time on the ball to either redistribute or.
He was definitely coming into lines at better speed, and he's a tough man to stop. And he was regularly making 3 or 4 yards every carry, so it was great to see him. What's his status?
I think he's been kept in this training squad, so I think everything points to him playing.
Because Ringrose is supposed to be back, isn't he? He's due to be back for England.
Is he?
Or maybe it's the last 2 games. I think he's missing England. So hopefully, if Bundy and Henshaw, I'd keep that, because Henshaw played well. Bundy obviously played well, and Larmour at fullback was brilliant. He really has shone into the player that he was always promised to be. Yeah. So I think the thing I would look at maybe Earls instead of Stockdale, but again, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm loving Larmour fullback. I think he hasn't really got an old-fashioned fullback test. He hasn't really had to contest in the air for a high ball. Now, look, you might have maybe Stockdale or Conway taking that role instead.
Do you think he might do that?
Maybe, yeah. I think, Conway did a lot. Conway and Stockdale did a lot of kick chasing, really.
Henshaw fullback?
Ooh.
Too soon? Too soon?
No, I mean, look, I love Will Addison. I'd love to see him in there. I think if you were, I'm not saying that you would, if you were going to drop somebody from the back 3, it would probably be Stockdale.
Yeah, I think
hasn't really set the world alight in this competition yet. There is talk as well. Doris will be back for the England game.
Yeah.
So the talk of starting Doris. I would probably keep the starting team against England. I would have maybe Doris on the bench instead of Deegan.
Yeah, I think so. He's a bigger man, isn't he?
Yeah, I think this is what I've always kind of said from the start of the competition, was Scotland was our chance to take risks.
100%. Yeah.
I think now, and also I love this. The Triple Crown is decided halfway through the competition.
Oh yeah, we've played Scotland and England.
Yeah,
Scotland and Wales.
And I think if we beat England now, I think we will probably win a Grand Slam. If you win the Triple Crown halfway through a tournament, I think that adulation and momentum is going to carry you through France and Paris.
If we have a Grand Slam off in Paris, that's going to be
stuff of legend.
Nerve-wracking, but amazing to watch. Yeah. I obviously I'm biased because I love Peter O'Mahony, but I can see if he's dropped for Deegan or Did you say Darius or Deegan?
Well, I was saying Darius is going to be back from his HIA.
Yeah, if he's dropped for one of them two and he comes on, because I can see the advantage of bringing him on with 20-30 minutes to go. I get that. He's a live wire and he's going to immediately make an impact, so I get that. And if the game plan is to bring a bit more beef into the back row, then I also get that. I could understand that. Beef, 100% Irish beef. But it would be tough to drop anyone after that performance against Wales.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No one really, we're criticising Stockdale, but we didn't have a bad game.
No, not at all. But you're looking for changes to make. I want Addison in the squad, so I'm trying to find a way to get him in there.
Yeah. Again, it's not fair on Addison then if his first game is against England in Twickenham.
Yeah.
No, I keep saying first game, but you know what I mean? Of this campaign.
I think that is maybe our form is dictated a little bit, but we haven't really experimented enough in the early games.
No.
The Italy game comes up then, I think. That is your chance to get a lot of these guys on the pitch. Maybe you start Kelleher, have Dave Heffron on the bench.
Yes.
Maybe you start Addison instead of Stockdale. Maybe you give McCluskey either, hopefully I want Buddy to keep playing. I love Muniaki. He stopped to let me cross the road on Monday.
No way.
Skoda 191 Jeep.
That he paid €0 for.
Allegedly.
No, he's a sponsor, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. No lawsuit there.
You drop one, then maybe give McCluskey a shout. But then you don't make wholesale changes because you want to keep that squad momentum going. But I think you're right. I think based on the last two games, nobody played their way out of a starting team against Wales.
No, definitely not.
Even if you think of it as a 23-man game, there's other decisions you can make. I know you would think maybe, you'd like to bring Peter O'Mahony on to end the game, but...
No, and it would be unfair on him in a lot of ways because he's been brilliant. This is why we said start these boys against Scotland, and then if you wanted to, if they didn't play well, you bring the, more seasoned guys in against Wales. Now, if we had a one-boat games, but the Scotland game, we started Cooney, you started Addison, you now have a genuine discussion of who to start against England, and there's no backlash to that because you've seen both. And now, if he starts Addison at full back and he has a bad game, he's going to get ripped to shreds for that.
Yeah.
If Larmour's on the bench, which obviously I don't think that's going to happen, but that's that would be my thought process going into that. If he starts Cooney at 9 against England, which of course I'm not saying he will, but if he did and he doesn't play well, he gets the backlash for that. And I'm talking about
it happened to Ross Byrne against England in the warm-up games.
Yeah. So I think he'll go mostly unchanged. If he changes anybody, I think it could be either in the back row or maybe Stockdale. I don't see anyone else really getting dislodged. I think if he does change someone in the back row, I think it's more for tactics than anything else.
Yeah.
I think the best way, no one's going to be dropped for performance.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. It's going to be either dropped for tactics or if someone picks up a nick, which is, always happens in rugby.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I mean, as I said, the first game was a time to build depth. I think there was a misconception under Joe Schmidt that we built depth. I think we built depth in one or two positions, but what we really built was our depth in second string players. We had a lot to choose from in if Rory Best isn't available, we have Scannell or Cronin. It was never like someone else to try and take his jersey.
Yeah.
It was, if he's not there, we have a few other hookers that can fill in. I think that's something we have to work on as a team. I think the way things have played out, we're on track now to have a very successful Six Nations. There's a World Cup draw at the end of the year. I want to see players put into that squad and experiment with, and depth really pushed. But we do have a tour in the summer and we have a tour in October. So I would like to see consistent selection now, finish out the Six Nations, get confidence up, have inconsistent selection in the summer and autumn tours, and then building back around to a slightly more consistent Six Nations.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fixtures fall in the next Six Nations, who we have first, whatever. But maybe building towards a slightly more consistent setup.
Unless he's looking at, and I would get this as in next year maybe being more experimental than this year because of the World Cup seeding. Although we talked about this last night with the Squid interview, and Lorcan actually made this point to me. Lorcan's a friend of ours. You're going to have to beat these teams anyway. Whether you're the 6th seed or the 2nd seed, you're still going to have to beat these teams.
Yeah.
Because even if you're 2nd seed and just per se, France is the 5th seed and you're drawing that pool, that's no real advantage for getting the 2nd seed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
but if you think about the main point here is that New Zealand will be in the top 4. Like they're not going to drop out of the top 4 anytime soon.
No, they won't be. But I'm saying,
so if you get in the top 4, you avoid New Zealand for as long as possible.
Yeah, but you're still gonna have to play world class teams.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
still got to play South Africa.
Yeah, you're still, and if you're gonna win a World Cup, you might as well beat the bloody All Blacks when you're doing it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, there's not a lot of benefit outside the top 8. I think obviously if you drop outside the top 8, you end up with two tier 1 teams.
Yeah. I can see maybe that's why they're kind of focusing on this year, and maybe next year I would hope that.
This year. Like why?
I think it's because the Olympics.
It is, but they use that same excuse for the Tokyo ones, and I don't understand how having a 1-day draw influences your Olympics that much. I know, look, it's for selling tickets, it's for selling accommodation.
Also, stop having the Olympics in the same place as the bloody World Cup.
Yeah,
who's
buying this stuff?
Yeah, that's.
I think it's ridiculous. I think look, like teams can change so much in 3 years. Like we're a prime example of that. We ended up in the top 4. Do you know? But we were the top team in the world going into the World Cup.
Yeah.
Do you know? So, and I'm not saying that as solely a positive. Teams drop as well.
Yes.
Japan have shot up now. Japan were in the top.
Top 8, yeah, I think they're. Yeah.
They could not be in the top 8 in 3 years.
Yeah.
And should they be punished for that? No. The draw should be done. I would say that 1 year before the first kickoff. Exactly 1 year.
A year to 18 months, I think, is a sweet spot, because it gives enough then time to because obviously there's a lot of logistics and when games are and who's playing who. So I get there's a lot to organise in that, but I feel like 18 months is plenty of time for teams to organise.
Definitely.
Not you definitely don't need 3.5 fucking years.
Yeah, you know where you're going. Like you're booking flights to France. You just don't know exactly where.
We're going to France.
Yeah.
Oh no way.
It's like you're announcing the destination for the World Cup 18 months out.
Ireland's not going to land in Japan and say, "Oh, I thought I was here every 4 years." That's just not going to happen. No, that's We'll wrap it up there, Westy. Thank you very much for joining me.
Anytime.
As I said, plug your Twitter, man. He wants followers.
What's my Twitter? @jwest91.
You don't even know your.
No.
I gave you this platform of 20 odd listeners, and this is how you repay me.
I mainly share articles on rugby and the odd rant.
He's definitely
to develop other interests.
Westy has a very good rugby knowledge, so he is definitely worth a follow. Oh, you do. While he's getting his hand. Oh, there you go.
J_West90.
Is it 90?
91.
I knew it was 91.
Not
Even I know your handle because I tag you in these posts. Follow Westy there. Follow me also on Twitter at none_podcast. I'm also on Instagram. Search Master of None. You'll see my icon. And also the podcast available everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to, they will be there. Give it a listen, guys, and follow me on Twitter and interact with me. I'm all right. I'm a sound lad.
Friends.
Ooh, Twitter friends. All right, thanks, Westy.
Thank you.